Hello and welcome. Today we're going to take a look around the incredible DC universe. Now, what I mean by that is we're going to look through Warner Brothers Studio and take a look at everything DC related. So if you're a fan of the DC films, you want to have a better look at all of the different props and everything like that that was used on the film sets, this is going to be a perfect video for you. Now, you've got all of the different Batmans to go through, 89, 92, Batman vs. Superman, and of course, you've got the Dark Knight trilogy. You've got all of the Man of Steel films, and obviously Wonder Woman and the Justice League bits and pieces as well. But we are going to start off with Pattinson's Batman and the Riddler. Now, this outfit looked incredible in person. The minifigure looked very good in Lego form. And of course, if you are a fan or a toy collector watching the channel, I've gone down purposely slowly so you can see how your toy compares. Now, if you aren't any of those, but you're just here because you're a DC fan, at least you can get a better understanding of just how amazing and detailed all these outfits are. And yes, that is a very, very large suit for a very, very slim actor. Any guesses? Nope. Well, it is Colin Farrell. So if you didn't realise Colin Farrell played that actor, or that actor played that character, shall I say, it's amazing to see just this stuff in scale. Now, the gates, I did not believe how big these things are. It just keeps going. Look, it keeps going and going and going all the way up. So those things were phenomenal to see in person. And what is also just as special is the suit that we're about to be having a look at right now. Now, this was a bit of a weird one to have a look at. I am a huge fan of this film, and I think this is possibly one of the best, well, it is in my eyes, the best Joker to date. And obviously who wore the suit, that you can just see all the dirt, all the grime, just how amazing all of the layers looked over it. So you've got the green waistcoat with a sort of almost like a suit blazer underneath the coat as well. That's more of a bluey colour than I ever thought it would be. But it was worn by Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight in 2008. Now, again, if you are an Arnie fan or a Mr. Freeze fan, not so much a fan of the film, then this is a perfect costume for you to have a look at. Let's be honest, the film's absolutely dreadful, but then the villains are amazing in the film, so I can't believe they got that one so badly wrong. But Arnie did look stupid and brilliant at the same time. So you can see all of the bright lights. It was a huge outfit, this one. It was very, very, very girthy. But you can see it was from Batman and Robin. That is the only time I'm going to mention that name in this video, because I think it is the only prop from those films. Now, this car took me by surprise, but I did not realise that the lighting was orange. I have the Lego version and it's all blue on the box artwork. So I can't remember if the Technic set is orange and the normal Lego model is blue. But for some reason I always assumed that the flames and everything that's produced was blue, including the blue lighting underneath the bonnet. But obviously clearly it's not. It is orange. So this car again was much more detailed than I actually thought it was seeing it on the film. I have seen the Batman, so Pattinson's Batman, just once, so I do need to rewatch it in all fairness, because it's one of those. But it's from 2022 and it is the Batman. Now, in my opinion, it just gets better and better as we go, but we will give each area its own timing. So obviously we've got all the bits and pieces from the Batman to have a look at first. Now, this suit is very, very detailed. I'll say it for the last time. All the bits and pieces that we are looking at, you would have seen it on the screen. So some of them are going to be battered, some of them are going to be battle damaged, because obviously the actors and actresses would have worn them for a long, long time. And it's part and parcel of the film. So what you see in the film is exactly what I am looking at now. And hopefully I'm going slow enough for anybody that is interested in all of the details. So with regards to how the leather is on the boots, for example, you've got that sort of second flap. So there's no shoelaces or anything on that. So I would imagine there would be a bit of metal on the inside of that. Then you've got all this sort of armour and weaponry on the sleeve. You've got the really weird looking coloured cape as well. But you've got the big chest plate. But Pattinson is absolutely massive, or the actress is very, very short. Now, this suit, again, has simple but very, very effective. Lots of little detail and all the different leather markings and everything like that to have a look at. You can see, again, what the boots are like, and you've got the different pattern on the knee. But you can just see how short this actress was playing Selina. Now, I thought both of these two did a very, very good performance in the film. Now, we're moving on to the back of the car. Again, look at the detail with all the engine bay and everything like that. And obviously, you've got the bit in the middle where you've got the turbine where the big flame pops out. Now, the car wasn't in the film that long, if I do remember rightly. But I'm very, very happy that I got to see it. So, if you're a fan of the Justice League from 2017, we now have every single actor from 2017 to have a look at. Now, starting off with this chap just here. Now, I was quite surprised seeing all of these suits, and we will see it in a second when we get over to Superman, just how massive these muscle suits are. And you'll see what I mean by this in a second, because the Superman calves are bigger than both of my quads put together. Now you will understand what I mean in a second. So if you start looking at all of the padding that they've added into the suits, it makes them very, very full and very, very impressive as well. So you can see you've got the full package there from Batman. As we pan up, you've got all the detail of the abs, then you've got the chest plate, and I know that is Jay's Toy Collections UK, possibly one of his favourite suits, so I've gone into massive detail on that for Jay. So again, you can see all the different bits and pieces on the thigh. As we come down, you've got all the different colours and everything on there, and it does look like you've got all the metal bits and pieces on this one, on the knee and on the shin and on the top of the boot as well. So each Batman has a slightly different type of boot, which is quite interesting, because obviously you've got to remember when they kick each other, it's going to be interesting with that. So that's something I never really thought of, to be honest. So it is interesting that some of the Batmen have got sort of extra armor and extra damage bits and pieces on their costumes. Well, I don't think all of them do have. So obviously as the films progress, they wanted to make them a little bit more violent. Now look at the abs on Superman, look at the size of Henry Cavill, and then as we come down, you'll see what I mean about, well, the calves. Now these, look at the size of those things. They are absolutely massive, and if you compare them to the Flash, for example, they really have filled out this suit very, very impressively, and it is a beautiful color as well. So that S is really nice and shiny, and again, that is obviously Superman's costume worn by Henry Cavill himself. Now moving over to the technically the last actor to wear a suit in the film, because the next one that we'll see is a interpretation of what it would have looked like in CGI, because technically that wasn't actually a costume, but they still made one up for this display, which I thought was really nice to see. So you can see again, you've got all the battle damage over the armor and everything on the shoulder pads, and then again on the bicep, so all down basically the left arm on that one. So it might be, I can't remember at what point you start to get battle damage, but it'd be quite interesting to re-watch that film to try and put that suit to that bit of the film. And again, you can see it is a mannequin prop, so it's just sort of their interpretation of what this would have looked like if an actor had to wear this suit. And you can imagine that would have been an absolute nightmare getting that on and off all the time, just with the amount of detail that's on it. I don't think that would have actually worked properly. Now, this was amazing to see. So if you are a fan of the '89 Batman, or the Flash film for that matter, again, lots and lots to see in the Batcave. Now this car is the exact car that you would have seen on the Flash. So this car's only just returned. Yes, it is from '89, but this is also the screen use The Flash car as well that was being in the background. It was never driven because they didn't drive it. It was just in the background as they're sort of introducing each other. So a bit of a spoiler if you've not seen the Flash, but the Batman is in the Flash, so there we go. And then you can see all of the other bits and pieces and the detail beside this car. You've got lots and lots of other bits and pieces to have a look at. Now the colour itself is different to what I thought it was. I thought it was jet black, but it seems to be more of a grey colour. And again, with the wheels, they have the silver on the inside, I do believe, rather than the gold. I think that's correct. I will re-correct myself as we start going around. I do film some of these bits and pieces again on my phone, just so it's a little bit brighter, because it is a little bit hard to see in places, because it is quite dark in here, because obviously they've given that sort of aspect of you being in a Batcave, but then at the same time it was a little bit hard to see bits and pieces. I did ask a member of staff if the member of staff was allowed to walk behind the barrier just to take a photo of the back of the Batmobile for me, and they weren't even allowed to either, which is a little bit of a shame, because the car itself I think is better from the back end than it is from the front. But you'll see the 66 car shooting away now, so there he goes, and then you've got just a really nice sort of multi-car garage on that one. This studio is enormous. Now this bike is also bigger than what I thought it was. I knew the tyres were huge, but I didn't realise the bike itself was quite large. So you just imagine having to sit on that and being dragged around doing different bits and pieces, more than likely on the back of a trailer. I don't know if all of these run, some of them might have done. I don't know how the ins and outs of all of it work, with obviously the movie magic and all that kind of thing, but it was very impressive to see. And again, I thought that was jet black, but again, it was done in silver, so I don't know if it was done in post-production. It was the same thing with the guns and everything like that, because I always assumed the Tumbler was jet black, so I didn't realise it had any silver bits on it whatsoever. But it is from the Dark Knight in Backpod in 2008, so correct me. Let me know. If you know, then obviously let me know. But I was sort of re-walked around it again after I filmed it all, and I was thinking to myself, I am sure that was supposed to be black. I still can't picture where that bike would have been used, where it was silver. And then you've got all the different weaponry on the outside, so all of these would have been seen and used at some point within the film. So this is Batman vs Superman, The Dawn of the Justice, and it is 2016. So everything from here is from the 2016 film, and again, lots and lots of bits and pieces to soak in and take in. If you need to pause it or just rewatch some bits and pieces, obviously then do so, because the video is already long enough. The tour itself is actually 3 hours long, and I've just taken snippets of the different bits and pieces. Now, the cool thing about this is this is used from The Dark Knight, I think. So yeah, 2012. This is all the different chairs and the monitors that they were sat behind. And for a prop, it is massive. It's got lots and lots of screens on. It does look very, very effective as well. So you can see that there's a screen sort of monitoring all the different bits and pieces. And then you have Christian Bale in the famous suit, again from The Dark Knight Rises in 2012. And then you sort of got the weapon armory sort of all around the outside of him. And you can get a good look from the front. And again, you can get a good look from the back of that as well. So there's been lots and lots of people walking around. So I couldn't film everything perfectly in order, but I did what I could for everybody. But you can see just the size of everything that is available just on here. And then I do believe we're about to go to the next suit. So Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice 2016. So it's the Zack Snyder. There we go. Zack Snyder. There we go. Got it right in the end. And you can see that it is the one with all of the graffiti over the front. Big belt, and then you've got the big arms and the big shoulder pads and everything on there. And again, you've got this massive, massive cape. And again, with all the boots, if you're paying attention to them for whatever reason, this one doesn't have the sort of like the metal damage bits and pieces on the top of them. So it does seem, as like I said, as the films progress, they do different bits and pieces to their armory, and they seem to make it more and more vicious with adding more metal bits and pieces onto sort of shoulders, elbows. Some of them look like they had like metal knuckles as well, whereas I don't think they did in the original films. And we will see some of the original, in fact we will see the original suit towards the end of it as well, so you can just see how they have been designed and developed over the years, which is always nice to see, do like a full comparison. And then as we're coming through, I think we're in the Aquaman section now, so I think this is all bits and pieces. It is indeed for 2018 Aquaman, all the bits and pieces, all the props and things like that. So if you're a fan of Aquaman, let us know in the comment section below. It's always interesting to see whose favourite character from what film. Obviously the problem is with DC, they get their films out so slowly, because I did ask on how often do they rotate the bits and pieces around, because obviously you can imagine with other vehicles coming around, if they had the tumbler there, that would have been incredible for me to have a look at. But luckily there was enough from The Dark Knight, so I was very, very happy. You had lots of these outfits, but there would have been more outfits available if they had got them in. So like the Flash bits and pieces, they weren't there at all, so there was nothing from the Flash, even though that would have been the newest film done, I think. So that was the only stuff that wasn't there, because you had all the new stuff from Shazam, because the lady that I spoke to said that they had just replaced the original Shazam suit with the new film suit. So instead of having both suits side by side, they just had the one. There was nothing from Black Adam, and there was nothing from the Flash. So really, because the films take so long to come out and there's nothing in the pipeline for a good while as such, there's going to be nothing that they're going to need to do to try and get all these in. So again, Batman vs Superman 2016, when the new wave or series or whatever your phase, that's the correct term, comes out, I wonder how much of these they're going to replace. Because are they going to start taking out all the Justice League bits and pieces? Are they going to take out all of the Superman Henry Cavill stuff, and they're going to start replacing it with a new actor when that eventually happens? So because I think they will have quite a bit of bits in the pipeline, somewhere like this could change drastically. Now you can see all of the different capes. I didn't realise how different each cape was from each film. It looks like you've got the cloth on the left, leather one on the right, and then you've got quite a nice looking fabric one on the far right hand side. And again, completely different type of suit. This has more sort of less metal flake in it. This is obviously from the Man of Steel in 2013. It does like it's got like a chain link effect all around the shins and the calves on that one. It's more sort of almost the opposite way around to what the other suit was with regards to like the details and everything. Now if you're a fan of the Daily Planet, there are some little Easter eggs in here as well, and I do believe we've got some photos and we've got some glasses to have a look at. So if you can spot them, or if there's anything else that I didn't spot, then let us know. So yes, you've got Clark Kent's glasses from Man of Steel 2013. So there they are. So that was what he would have worn in his noggin throughout the film. It does look like there's a press pass in there as well. Then you've got some random staplers, so just some little pictures and things, which are obviously just taken from the actual film itself. And then I think up on the wall, propped up on the wall where you've got the newspaper bits and pieces, I think these things here would have been used in the film. So you've got the Gotham crime rate soars, you've got the Congress, and then you've got another one about winter for Metropolis. And there we go. So Batman vs Superman 2016. So that's where they were taken from. Now Shazam, moving on to 2019. So you've got some of the artwork on here. So you've got Freddy's Notebook, and then it pans through, and you've got a couple of the other little bits and pieces from 2019. But like I said, I think the 2019 is the newer one. I think. I didn't really pay too much attention to. I haven't seen the newer one. I think that's the thing. So I'm assuming this is the, yeah, there we go. Look, so 2023 is the newer suit. So I can't remember what the older suit looked like, but this is the newer one from 2023. So they didn't have much. They only had 4 items from 2 films for the Flash, and you can see how much they've had for all of the other films as well. So it'd be interesting to see if this character gets more and more popular, if they will get some more bits and pieces out of the archive, because they've got to sit on some of these somewhere. So I don't know how many other Warner Brothers studio tours you can do dotted around the world. So you're going to have a quick pan round of a sort of almost like a 360 of where we were stood, just so you get in the scale of the size of what that was before we move on to the Wonder Woman. So 2017, this did look impressive with regards to having a look at some of the different types of costumes that she wears. I think we've already seen one, and I think we've got another one to come. So you've got 3 of them in total, and then you can obviously see the Justice League costumes in the far distance. And the members of staff were super helpful. They had so much knowledge. They knew basically what everything was. And they have the same size area again for Friends. They have the same size area again for Harry Potter, Game of Thrones. There's just loads and loads of stuff to take a look at. So if there's anything that you'd like me to upload, I can do. I've still got all the video files. I might do a full uncut video of everything much later on down the line, but it's not really what this channel is all about. But this is linked to a Legoland trip. So every Wednesday I am uploading just a random video from the time that I was away linked to the park, and today is this video. So that's how this is working. So more artwork on the side. I don't know again if this is just there for decorative pieces, because they seem to have quite a lot of those. I know these picture frames, I recognize these because you do have one of the props that was used in Wonder Woman and in Justice League. I think it's the much older photo. So it was the same photo used twice, a bit like what they've done with the car as well. So they just used the same prop twice, which is this photo just here, which does look really good and really old. But that was done from 2016 and in 2017 as well, or the other way around. I think I've got the date wrong on that one. I misread that one. So I think Wonder Woman came out before. No, it didn't, did it? It came out after. So, yep, talking nonsense. So, as we come up, this is all the bits and pieces that I have no idea what it's linked to, because there was nothing to that. I think these are just decorative pieces. If they are from the film, and you know that they're props, then happy days. But I have no idea. And then this is the 3rd costume. I think this is from the 2nd film for the standalone Wonder Woman, which is another film I have yet to see. I'm sure that is the case of this one, because I don't recognise the armour. So, what film is it from? 1984. No, so I have not yet watched that one. I thought the first Wonder Woman was absolutely fantastic, but I don't know about the second one, so I can't say much. Now, this was one of 2 places you can have a good photo opportunity as well. So you had the big wings, and then you had the lasso of truth. Lasso? What am I on about? Lasso of truth, I do believe it's called. Again, I'm probably butchering all of this. I am beyond tired, and I filmed this a good while back, and I can't remember what order I put the files in. So I'm basically watching this back for the first time and making it up as we go. But it was used in the 84, so it was the golden armor. Now, something very special, Keaton. So again, look at the front, no metal on the toe caps, no metal on the bits that you kick with, and there's no metal on the gloves or the forearms. So you can see that it is just basically a latex full-blown suit. So as if you think about it from a perspective of the film, it would just be basically him punching with no help. And obviously, like I said, as the Batman develops, he makes his suit more and more brutal. But it does have the cool bits and pieces on the sleeve. And again, you've got this really long cloth cape as well. So I thought all the different detail in all the suits was really interesting to see. But Keaton, obviously phenomenal actor, and what a film this is. A slightly different badge, obviously. Each one has a completely different chest symbol. Now, if you are a fan of the original Superman or the original Wonder Woman as well, obviously linked into the original Batman, all of this is a perfect photo opportunity for you. You can see you've got the two-tone blue with a really, really bright red boots, cape and trunks, and this is all the way back from Superman 3 in 1983, so this is the original Christopher Reeve's costume. Very, very special to see that next to the Batman, and then again for the amazing trio. You can see how the Wonder Woman outfit's changed over time as well, can't you? So you can see exactly what this is like. Now, is this what? I can't remember if this is from the film or the TV series. Now, I do remember actually watching the TV series on the telly. It's from the series, so 1975 to 78. So that is what that was worn in. Obviously, used in one of multiple episodes, I would imagine. Now, you can just imagine how big this place is, but as I step back, you can take a look at all the fantastic artwork that they've got dotted all up and around the top, so you can see the big DC logo. I think it looks very, very cool. Now, this is in a slightly different area. This is a very, very battered and worn cowl from Michael Keaton in 1992. So this is from the Batman Returns, so you can see just how battered that looks. And then I do believe these are sort of like little props that they used just as a mock-up with regards to the 90... well, that was 89 and 92. And then I want to say 92... 94 and 98 car, I think, because they went every 2 years, didn't they? Now, again, different suit, does look very, very smart indeed. So you can see exactly what this one looks like. And now we're back to the car. Now, this is on my phone, so it's a little bit brighter. So we have seen this already. We haven't got long left, so I am slowly starting to run out of time. But I've just taken snippets on my phone in case it came through. It was a little bit dark to start with. But guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Feedback below what you think of everything that we've seen. Have you been to somewhere like this before? Would you like to go to somewhere like this? I had no idea it was here. An Uber driver told me about it, and I just had to go, and it was unbelievable. It's really, really good value as well. They had a huge shop. Like I said, if you're a Friends fan, you could spend hours looking at all the Friends stuff, all the original props, all the sets. Same thing with DC. This was the highlight for me, just walking around all the DC bits and going on the actual tour of the out lot, the back lot that you're not allowed to film on. I did see where they filmed some bits and pieces with regards to the Riddler leaving a note on Batman's gates, and it was pretty interesting to see exactly where it was and the trickery of all of the different bits and pieces, because obviously the gates and the manor don't actually exist. They're not outside each other, because I always assumed that the gates were propped in front of a massive building, but that was actually filmed somewhere completely different and away from the house. So that's a pretty cool thing. So we have seen this, like I said, but this seems to be a lot brighter on my phone for some reason than it was on the GoPro, which is usually the opposite way around. So I don't know if I walk back round again and they had just turned the lights back up, but at least you're getting to see it a little bit better for the second and the last time. But I don't know which is my favourite suit, to be honest, with regards to the Batman. There's so many different types of them, but they all look absolutely fantastic in person. So again, in the comment section below, let us know what your highlight is of this video. Let us know who your favourite actor is to play what character. This is a better understanding of just how big sort of the Bat Cave section is, because you can see how that pans around. You've got the screen just to the right hand side, and then that's a bit of a better look at all the different weaponry that is in the middle of this. It's from the Dark Knight, which again looks very, very good indeed. So we are about to finish off, I do believe, with some photos. What these photos are of, I can't remember, because like I said, I put this together a little while back. So first photo is this. So again, I've done this for you to pause it. I think that was the point. So you've got the different suits to finish on. But guys, if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.